Sup everyone, we're back in the Squid Shack and today we got to pull the bottom end out. Now reason for that is I've been to my machine shop, Rhemac Motors in Gawler. I took the head down there, the old good one that was in the Sonvia, the RB27 head. Now they said that's fixable, however they want to check the block before they give me the head back so I can assemble it and put it all back together. For the sake of pulling a stock bottom end out, pulling the crank, rods, pistons out of it, pretty much convinced myself that I'm going to build a forged bottom end now, because the head's going to be all the good parts out of the good one, like the good valves, the good springs, the good retainers, everything's there. So I'm crazy not to build a good engine. Remax are just going to machine everything and then I'll put everything together. We'll see how that pans out, because at the end of the day they might feel more comfortable doing it themselves. Yeah, it's going to cost me a bit of money, but in the long run it's going to be heaps better. I'm not going to have to worry about this thing letting go. It's going to allow me to be able to drive a hell of a lot more, and that means more videos for you guys, so it's going to be a win-win. I'd love to do another RB27. I do have an RB26 engine over there, which is the spare engine for the RBM3, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll pull this one out, get it inspected by Remax. If they give it the all clear to go ahead, we'll just do rods and pistons, I think. And then obviously I'll do a good oil pump for it. I've got enough parts here to just put the steel gears in this oil pump, or maybe an M1 pump. I can't remember what was off the other engine. I've got head studs, I've got everything else. It should be pretty simple, to be honest. Obviously just comes down to money. And yeah, I'm back working quite a lot, so yeah, might slow the videos down, I don't know, we'll see how we go. But the main goal is to get an engine done, and we've also got some upgrades happening on the RBM. How good are my neighbours? Anyway, just ignore the craziness going on next door. So yeah, we got some upgrades on the RBM3. I've just ordered a new turbo for it, so that's going to be interesting. The Precision's actually making a terrible sound, to be honest. We'll probably send that back to Precision, get them to just rebuild it, and then I'll sell it, because they obviously don't like what I do with it. The on and off throttle with drifting, yeah, it hasn't lasted long at all. So we're actually going to a different brand, and yeah, it's not sponsored or anything, it's just a thing I want to try, but you'll have to wait and see what we're going to go to there. That also means we're going back to Power Tune in Sydney, so that'll be like a week trip over there for me, and I'm going to document the whole process of yeah, doing the turbo upgrade, because we've got to do fabrication, we've got to do wiring, and the wiring side of it is the speed sensor on the turbo, which is going to be pretty cool. And we'll also be running some anti-lag. Yeah, God, I can't wait for that. Let's pull this engine out and get busy disassembling it. Disassembling it. Pulling at the frickin' bits. Where do you guys want to watch from? We'll be back. Okay, we're back into it. Helps if you take the tail shaft out. So you missed the best bit, but the engine's out. Bree had to help me. Thanks, Brianna. She said, no worries, Jake. Alright, we got to strip this engine down now so it's ready to just get dropped off at Remax, and they can do all the tests on it and whatever. But in the meantime, we'll check the clutch out, we'll have a look at the spigot bush, because that'll be ruined, I guarantee you. Yeah, you guys get to see me strip an engine. Alright, first thing we're going to do is pull the clutch off. so this is Extreme Clutch. It's just an off-the-shelf unit. I don't know if they've changed the design. They probably should have, but this has a ridiculous amount of freaking pressure plate bolts. So all I do is just take off 4 or 5 in a section and leave 4 on there, and then evenly pull the pressure plate off when you've got 4 bolts left. And now your clutch is loose. So you just take pressure plate off, and a very important step is make sure as everything comes off, you put it down the same way. So, oh yeah, look at all that clutch dust. These things don't last a hell of a long time. When I was sponsored by them, I used to take these plates in all the time to get checked up. They weren't too bad, but they'd replace the pucks pretty often. But no, this material I've got on this now is pretty good. And yeah, just to remind yourself, you can always ride on it as well. Alright, now the fun bit, flywheel bolts. Now, because there's no load on the engine, I have to crack them with a rattle gun. It's not something I like to do, but just to get them going. Easy as that, eh? Now the flywheel will come off. Oh, thanks, mate. Okay, now that the flywheel's off, we can put the clutch back in the way it came out. And then you put all the bolts in. I just sit the bolts in there, just so you don't lose them. God, there's way too many. And then last but not least, all the flywheel bolts put in a Ziploc bag. Ta-da! Okay, now we can put that clutch under the bench, slide it over there so it's out of the way. Now there's no clutch or flywheel on the back, we can actually put this block on an engine stand, which is what I need to do so I can strip it down. So let's do that. When you first get one of these, you got to get the right length bolts so you can actually bolt it to your engine, because I think they only come with like old school V8 bolts or some crap. On a pro tip, if you want to keep them on there when you're not actually using the stand, wrap tape around the bolts so they don't go missing. Yeah, now we can lift her up, chuck it in the stand, start stripping it. Obviously not how you do it. And then just make sure you put this thing in so the engine doesn't spin around. And now we have the engine on the engine stand and we can start stripping it. This thing here is very important to make sure you don't ever lose the spot of where it sits, because that's a trigger sensor and it's meant to be within 1 mil of the actual star wheel that it counts off. Star wheel, trigger wheel. Yeah, so it's like 1 mil off the actual trigger wheel that it counts the rotations off. Unfortunately, this one's an adjustable one, which makes your life hard. PowerTune actually make a fixed unit and I highly recommend it. So If you can, don't get one of these. I just thought I left the tensioner loose, but obviously I've already pulled this engine apart. Idiot. Spin her over. So I'm gonna take the sump off. This sump is actually a enlarged Lewis engine sump, and it has been through hell. When it was in the good engine from the Sonvia, the RB27, the rod let go and chainsawed everything, the block, the sump. Now the fun bit, trying to get this sump off when it's had 10 tons of gasket goo slapped on it. Oh no. And that is how you take a sump off without damaging the lip too much, or at all really, because you can pry it off with screwdrivers, but it just bends it and never seals again. Now the fun bit, taking the rods, everything out. Alright guys, now that we got the engine pretty well to the point where we're just doing the internals, it's getting a little bit. It's not really that late, but my neighbours are weird, so I don't want to make any noise. And yeah, we'll be back first thing in the morning, take that out, get the block ready to drop off at Rhemac's, and then I might just clean everything up, so it's when everything comes back we can just start putting it all back together. Actually, I'm going to continue on for tomorrow with this video, because it's all relative. You want to see the rest of the engine get pulled apart, so we'll be back in the morning. Good morning everyone, we're back in the Squid shack and it's time to pull the guts out of this engine. So first thing we'll do is obviously take the pickup off, then we'll take the girdle off, and then we'll do each individual conrod and just take that all out with the piston. And then last but not least, we got to take the back cover off and the oil pump off, and then the crank should be like, yep, I'm ready to come out. Don't have a hell of a lot of experience doing this, but it is pretty straightforward. Obviously pulling it apart, putting it back together is not, well, it is easy if you just want to slap it together, but to get everything right, you want to take your time and do it properly. Alright, let's do this, shall we? Leaking through there too, the rear main seal, so that was going to be the next job anyway. So when you're pushing the pistons out the bore, go towards the head, just so you can slide them out. You should just be able to give them a bit of pressure. Don't hit them or anything, but just put a little bit of pressure behind the piston and they'll slide through the bore. If you find the piston falls out and goes straight through the bore and onto the ground, then yeah, your rings are completely gone. These are actually pretty good, surprising. For a stock engine, it's not too bad at all. And then obviously just line them all up the same order they come out. So if the machine shop asks you where everything else is, you know exactly where everything is. It's all in order, and it's yeah, good to go. Now the crank should be free, come straight out. And then you have an RB25 crankshaft. Whew, Jesus. Alright, so I've just spent like an hour or more just labeling everything up. Like literally just making the machine shop's job easier. Well, hopefully. Trying to reduce the amount of time they gotta spend sorting everything out. So I don't know if this is how people normally do it, but this is how I'm gonna do it, just to make their lives easier so they can just get the work done and get it back to me. So there's a few bent valves in there. I'm gonna take some of the good valves out the other head here. And then yeah, just drop it all off and we'll go from there. I'll more or less just take the entire engine there, so if they need to look at any specific part of the engine to see what went wrong, yeah, it's all there for them. So that's pretty much a wrap from here. Tomorrow I'll be dropping off after work, take the block there, the crank, all the piston, like everything. I'll just take the whole lot down there. And then yeah, I can start cleaning everything up. The gearbox is filthy because the rear main seal was leaking. The clutch has got crap all over it from when I tilted it, and there was oil still in the engine. Yeah, there's heaps to it, and it's a pigsty in here. Alright guys, thanks heaps for watching. If you don't mind, maybe hit the like button and then subscribe as well. That'd be great. Alright guys, see you next time.